We in there like swimwear.
What's up?
All right. See people
To
gather.
the top.
See people gather.
Jumping in. Mark D, good to see y'all, man. Have a good evening to everybody. Let's go, Lonzie.
Antonia, what's happening? All right, y'all. I see people gathering. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey,
News, come on in.
Hey, this evening. This is this is from 401k to financial freedom, y'all. Hey, look, I got a special guest, a tremendous guest, a phenomenal guest on the live. Hey, we're actually here to introduce himself in just a moment, but for those of you who may not know me, you should get to know me. Hit that arrow right there. Y'all see that arrow I'm pointing at? Follow me. I am Mr. Greene, and I am the owner of LG3 Enterprises. And what is LG3 Enterprises, and what do? I help people flip their 401ks into financial freedom. And not only do we do that, but we offer a solistic path in doing so. I'm not going to get into details as far as what that solistic path is, but just know that I help people flip 401ks. Now, look, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a position where you got that phone call? Maybe you didn't receive the phone call, or maybe you made the phone call, and the phone call went a little something like this. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Hey, look, I got that phone call at 25, and at the time I was working for a financial firm. I was making about $25,000 a year. So when I tell you living from paycheck to paycheck and having more month than money, that's where I was at that time. Hey, man, put some fireballs in the chat because we love to have you engaged. Put some fireballs in the chat if you've ever been there, if you've ever lived paycheck to paycheck, or if you had more month than money. So that's where I was when I got that phone call, right? Just struggling, man, trying to make ends meet. You know what I mean? Putting half a tank of gas in the car just so I could get from point A to point B. You know what I mean? And then pulling the nozzle out like that. Right. Trying to make sure that the last little drip of gas get in that tank. Now, that's how broke I was, right? But so anyway, time moved on. My son was 2 years old, and I just couldn't fathom living like the way I was living anymore. Not only for myself, but for my son. I'm like, how am I going to raise a child with me living like this? What am I going to teach him living under these conditions, right? And so I was desperate, very desperate. I was in a state of despair. And what I ended up doing is I ended up finding somebody who had expertise. They were running in business. They were running their own 501c3, very successful in that lane. And I just simply went up to them and asked them, can you help me, please? Help me, please. Help me, please. And so she said, yeah, sure, I'll help you. You know, I'll give you the game. I'll show you the tricks of the trade. I'll show you how I run the business so that you could be successful. But do you have capital, right? And when she asked me that, I was like, immediately, no. But then I got to thinking and remembering that when I first got hired for that financial institution, one of the things that they encouraged us to do was to contribute to the 401k. And so I recalled that I had contributed to the 401k, and because I had been working for the financial institution for several years, I was able to discover or learn the loopholes that are offered within the employer retirement savings plan in order to use that as leverage to seed my business. So I literally took a $6,000 amount, which is the only amount that I had or was eligible to take at the time, and I seeded it into a business, and I ended up turning that business into a multi-six-figure operation. So my life changed. Y'all see me here. This is the bow tie. This ain't even a clip-on. I'm just telling y'all, life.
You real with that.
Yeah, I'm real. So life has changed dramatically, you know what I mean, to where I've been positioned in a way by flipping the 401k where I have a sense of freedom now. And so that's what I want to teach people as well, because we go into these retirement plans and really don't have a concept or a clue. You know, they tell us that we should invest 10 to 15%, but what they don't tell us is that by the time you enroll in these plans, you're relinquishing a lot of your ownership and control on your money, right? They tell you not to take the money out of the retirement plan, right? Because it will extend your retirement target date, but that narrative is more so to the saver narrative and not to the wealth creator narrative. And what I mean by that is if you had a plan in place, both short-term and long-term, where you knew exactly what you were going to do with that money and you aligned yourself with individuals that have been successful, and since success leaves clues, you can just follow their clues, and you can take that money out of your employer retirement savings plan in order to generate real wealth. But with that being said, that's what I do in a nutshell. That's what I offer. If you want to know more, definitely hit me up. But I want to turn it over to this guy. Man, I met him on LinkedIn. I ain't even gonna front, and I've been impressed. I've learned from so much from him in just such a short amount of time. But Victor, man, you know, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Yo, first of all, we got to just drop fireballs for flipping 401ks, right? Flipping 401ks. People that flip cars, houses. We flipping 401ks over here. So I love that, man.
That's right.
I love that, man. So Victor Vonico Johnson, professional speaker. I'm a consultant for real estate investing, newbies in the real estate investing space. I'm also working with a lot of entrepreneurs these days, but I also am a real estate professional, a real estate entrepreneur. I invest in properties. My story is very similar to yours, bro. I had 3 kids by the age of 22. So I was out there. I moved from the Bay Area, California to Atlanta. And anybody know about Atlanta? Especially early 90s, bro. Freaking days. Anyway, I digress. But I got introduced to Atlanta and started having these babies and things like that. And so for me, my college life that I thought I was going to go to Howard, got accepted, didn't go that route because I had to get a couple of jobs to take care of some miles. And so nothing wrong with that. The thing is, when I started working jobs, I was investing in my 401k plan. I was one of those typical folks who's like, look, if I can take 8, 9, 10% of my check, don't even see it, let it go sit over here somewhere and let it be working for me, that's a great plan. Well, the problem is I was not disciplined, Lonzie. I was not disciplined. I see 4, 5 racks built up in that thing. I'm borrowing against my 401k, so that means there's penalties. I'm taking on, tax implications that I didn't need to. And so I wasn't disciplined. So no matter what you do out there, you've got to have some purpose behind what you're doing because that will help you to remain disciplined. But what I did end up doing, and first of all, I did forget, I am not a certified public accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. This information is all informational and hopefully will lead you to some nuggets to help you dig deeper. But if you do choose to do any investing, obviously seek a professional's advice. And real estate investing is risky. You cannot be out here just throwing money around. It's big risk too. You be big mad messing around with this money get lost. So
hey, look,
that's my disclaimer.
Thank you for the disclaimer. In other words, don't be calling them people on me and Victor, telling them that we done told y'all how to invest y'all money, because that's not what we're doing. And, that's not what we're doing. We just sharing our story with you all, and hopefully, it can put something on your mind. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. So I will say, 2015, I ended up, fast forward, life went on. My wife and I bought a house in Atlanta, and then I got a job opportunity because my job in Atlanta was being eliminated. Basically, they were selling the company. And so I'm out here, looking for job opportunities, met somebody that had an opportunity in Austin, Texas. Without going into the full story, you guys can get my book, Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. The full layout is in there, and plenty of nuggets that I did to follow and change my financial status. But basically what happened was I got the job in Austin, Texas, and I did have about 13,000 saved in a 401k at that time. Well, I started running the numbers and looking at what was really being earned, especially after some of the fees associated with that and all the different things that go on behind the scenes in a 401k. And I started getting introduced to rental property investing. And so after running some numbers, doing some analytics, they came across an opportunity that the numbers looked really good. I still had to take the risk and make a decision. And so I pulled 10 grand out of my 401k at that time, invested in a little beat up house in San Antonio. I did use a hard money lender at that time. And basically over the course of 2 years, renovating the place, increasing the value, having good screening processes for the tenants that we had in there. And of course, a streak of luck and great market changes that help elevate the valuation of that property, that $10,000 turned into a $300% increase in what I would have earned from just letting it sit there in the 401k plan. So I am truly a fan of utilizing your dollars, seeing those dollars go to work, because we all out here working very hard. Why should you be the only one working hard? Let your money get out here and bust a sweat and put some dollars and put some extra dollars back in. Every dollar that go out need to come back with 3 or 4 more than fellas, right? So that's what this is all about, finding alternative ways to utilize the dollars you do have in order to leverage greater gains down the line. So with that said, I'll let you kind of pick back up there, bro.
Man, I love it. I love what you said, man. In my space, in my tribe, we call that money babies. We call those money babies. You know what I mean? So being pregnant with all those possibilities where you multiplying your money. Hey, Shalonda. Hey, E. Right. I see you. Hey, Miss Chrissy. I see you. See y'all coming in the building. The path to prosperity is in the building. But yeah, man, that's what we call them, money babies. And so, man, I'm so thrilled to speak with you, man, because what it is that you do and what you offer and what you teach and coach and speak to is it's almost a divine connection with what it is that I do. Because one of the questions that I get so often in my space around the employer retirement savings plan is, can I use it to invest in real estate? And you just shared an example on how you can do that, right? And so I just want to talk a little bit about several different ways, right?
Yeah.
One, you can definitely utilize the 401k to purchase your own primary residence, right? The 401k actually has an avenue in it that will allow for you to do so, right? You can become an investor if you want and invest in a single family property, a multifamily property. And when I say multifamily, it can be up to quads. It could be even past that. You could do land development deals, right? You can get into, you can build a business around real estate wholesaling. You can do mortgage notes. Like, there's so many tentacles to real estate, and you can use the vehicle of the 401k in order to transport you there to be successful. And not only can you use the 401k, I like what Victor said about discipline, right? Because if you do have a short-term strategy, a strategy that you've mapped out, then you will put yourself in position to, when you're ready to take money out to be able to invest in real estate, you can do so in a way where you become your own personal bank. That's a pregnant pause. So what do I mean by personal bank? I mean, you can take your own money out of the retirement plan, pay it back to yourself to replenish your retirement plan with interest. So not only are you paying the amount that you borrowed, but you're putting a little cherry on top by paying the interest back to yourself. And the thing about the interest is that the interest that's found when you borrow from out of the 401k plan is significantly lower than the interest that you would be paying if you took the money out from a bank, right? So that is the glory in the story of borrowing or using your 401k money. Now, there's other avenues as well, but that's one of the what I consider the best, because again, there's nothing like becoming your own personal banking system, right? And so I wanted to bring Victor on. I'm glad Victor came on, because Victor is the real estate guy, you know what I mean? And so he can talk to you a little bit about real estate and what, now that you have the money, right? Now that you're ready to get into real estate, right? What are some things that you can do? So, Victor, can you share a little bit about your experience as far as how you can get into real estate, the barrier of entry, some of the things that you've seen or done in order to get into real estate investing? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely, Lonzie. So you already mentioned there's several tentacles to real estate. I mean, there's tons of ways to get involved with real estate investing and watch that money, again, grow for you. One thing I will say, since we're talking about 401ks, basically you could utilize, and I know there are companies out there to do this. I've had a couple clients that thought, well, all I got is $25,000 to invest. I said, well, what do you have in your 401k or an IRA account? And, well, I got 75, 80 grand over there. Well, you can
Right.
take some of that, roll that into a self-directed IRA, and then that money can be added to an investment project that you want to invest in. And the sweet part about that is the dollars that you collect from either flipping that property or, better yet, buying and holding it, in other words, renting that property out, will go back into the self-directed IRA, earning you additional capital from, again, just like you were investing more money into it every month. And so those dollars can be multiplied as well, even from the gains that you already got from investing in the project that you put those dollars towards. So it's definitely a smart way to go. One of the things that a lot of people are starting to become familiar to is doing what's called house hacking. So you find a property that's like a fourplex, meaning there's 4 units to it. You are able to reside in one of those units. The other 3 can be rented out to tenants. Again, you have a strong screening process, because a lot of the people that come to me that are new, they're worried about, well, what if they don't pay the rent, or how do I prepare for it? What if I got a criminal? There's a whole process around screening tenants. So when I'm coaching my clients, I'm walking them through all of those steps, of course, because that's the most important, right? Those are your clients. Your tenants are clients for you. Just like if you were a barber, the more people sitting in your chair, that means you're making more money. If you were a baker, you need people coming through the door buying your goods. You have tenants. Those are your clients. And so you want to be able to pick the right clients for your property. But you buy that multi-unit property, you reside in one, so you can still buy it as a residential property. You can leverage some of the programs out there lenders are providing to, homeowners. So you still are living in this, even though it's a 4-unit, and you're able to capitalize with lower down payment costs, a lot of better insurance policies and things like that. But you're making money from those other doors. In essence, you're living rent-free because your mortgage is being paid by the 3 tenants. As somebody moves out, you upgrade that unit, you raise the rent to market value based on the upgrades that you've done. You can keep on cycling through. A lot of people call it a reverse pyramid process, where you start out with 4 units, you leverage that, do whatever upgrades you're going to do. Down the line, you refinance, and you take that money, maybe you buy a 3-plex and do the similar thing with that. You can move over there after a year or 2 in your 4-plex, and you kind of keep on coming down. Next thing you know, you've built $1 million in capital because you rolled $50,000 out of your 401k into this self-directed IRA to go buy this property. There's just tons of ways to do these type of things. And so I really love when people are able to get outside of their comfort zone, because there's no growth if you're comfortable. There's absolutely no growth if you're not able to do calculated risk, take the plunge, put actions into place, get up your vision board, do your mantras, things like that, so that you can build your mindset up so that you can take these risks. But Lonzie is schooling you on how you can take capital that you've already been building through your employment world and rolling that into your real estate investing world, or even an entrepreneurial venture that you're looking to do. But that's one of the ways that you can leverage that money in order to get started with real estate.
Wow, man. Incredible house hacking. Hey, Victor just ran a whole play for y'all, like a whole play. So if y'all feeling that, man, drop some fireballs in the chat. Hey, click that drop down arrow right there. Make sure you follow Victor Johnson and follow me too. I am Mr. Greene, Mr. Flip Your 401k, as I'm affectionately known. I love the house hacking play, Victor. One of the things that I've also observed about the house hacking space is a lot of people talk about the quads or the triplexes or the duplexes. In the words of TLC, what about your friends? Will they stand their ground? Or will they let you down and then end? Hey, what about your friends? Have you ever thought about maybe getting a single family home with multiple rooms and maybe renting those rooms out to your friends and then having those rooms cash flow for you, so that at the time that which you taking that 401k out and you need to pay it back, that cash flow is essentially replenishing your retirement savings account because your friends or your colleagues are paying rent on the rooms that you have within the homes. Hey, sometimes getting into wealth, it takes short-term pain for long-term gain. So there's multiple,
baby, delayed gratification.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm a living testimony. I'm a living testimony, and I'm sure you are too. So that's another house hack. But again, hey, Victor, I wanted to, if you could share, you mentioned your book. Can you talk about your book just for a little bit, and then also talk about your abundance program as well? Yeah.
Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. You see the name down there. So proud. Legacy has been already established, bro. Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. We're on Amazon and Kindle, but that book was actually written out of so there was a story back in 2018. I was working, I had moved to Dallas from Austin. I was working a regular corporate job. I was a director at a contact center. I was already making six figures in that role, but I had, being in the call center world and running in these type of circles, I always had either a position eliminated or a company get shut down. So that had happened to me 3 or 4 times, which is the whole reason I got into investing in real estate, because I wanted to have a security blanket of passive income coming in from another stream. So anyway, fast forward, I'm working this job. I've made some money from the first couple of houses that we had invested in. My savings were good, and I had an opportunity to buy 2 rental properties on one day. I literally had 2 purchases done on my lunch break. I had a mobile notary come to my house at noon one day, on that day, and at 12:30 close on the second house. They were both in San Antonio. Closed on that property. Of course, I posted about it. Some of my friends and family were like, yo, what are you doing in Texas, bro? And so anyway, that led to me jumping on a few calls on like a Sunday to help people understand what I was doing and just sharing some of the game. And I realized on those calls that there were people that were scared. There were people that had the credit challenges, people that didn't have enough money, people that didn't know what steps to take next. All of those things were problems that I had to overcome in order to get into my first deal. I laid them out right here. The mindset piece, the practices and routines that I had to put in place in order to, one, overcome the credit challenges that I had. I went from a 525 credit score to a 750 in the course of about 14 months, just being very disciplined and applying things. I got real medieval with how we were living in the house and unplugging cords and all kind of stuff, but really got serious about it. And in the book, I talk about the mindset shift. I talk about the routines, the daily habits that had to go in place, how I started attracting, I use that word, attracting, like I was a magnet, started attracting more favorable outcomes to myself, which led to better income. The better income I put to work in these rental properties and other entrepreneurial ventures. So that's what this is, the proven pathway to wealth and happiness. The happiness part gets forgotten sometimes, that you cannot pursue happiness. You got to be happy and let happiness gravitate to you, bro. So, bang, right there, right? VictorVJohnson.com. Y'all hit me up on the site. And then you did ask me about the Abundance Program. The Abundance Program is my real estate investing coaching program. It's a 90-day program. I'm working with my clients very close. They have direct contact with me. I'm analyzing deals with them. I'm helping them run the numbers. I'm helping them put together the contractors, the team, figuring out what makes sense as far as the rehab on those projects. And again, as I said earlier, helping them screen tenants so that they are pulling in good clients. I like to call my tenants clients, good clients that can live in that property for forever and ever, or for as long as you want them to, as long as you own that property. You know, it's a win-win for everybody. These are oftentimes families that are 7, 8 people on top of each other in a 2-bedroom. Now you got a house that's in hopefully a pretty decent school district. They got a yard. Now they can get a dog. They can get 2 cars now for the 2-car garage. And everybody starts thriving and living better. So that's what I'm all about, man, is seeing people become stronger and better and leveling up. And I'm just all about become a victor of your own life. Yeah, right? Be the victor in your own life. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, bro.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. And we're going to end here shortly. But I want to say I love what you said about mindset, because that's where it starts, right? So everybody cop that book, and I will share with y'all, hey, look, that abundance program that Victor just laid out for you, man, it to me, when I hear what it is just based on his experience and his success, then that seems to me like a formula for success as well, especially if you want to get into real estate. And so the thing about it is this abundance program is offered within the financial freedom framework that we have constructed here at my company. And so what we do is we walk you through, because there's certain criteria. You can't just stroll into the abundance program, right? You got to have your credit right? You got to have your mind right. And so the financial freedom framework is a program that walks you through that. So by the time you get to Victor, you're ready to rock and roll. And what do I mean by that? We have a mindset coach, a transformational coach that's going to get your mind right, help you set some goals, take some get your action plan in order, right? Then from there, we're going to connect you with a credit consultant, someone that can help repair your personal credit. And if you're running a business, make sure your business is structured appropriately and position you so that you can acquire funding so that you can leverage other people's money. Then we connect you with someone that's going to help you with your bookkeeping, because before you can get into tax strategy, you got to get your books in order. You got to get your records right. So we're going to connect you with the bookkeeper. And then from that point, we're going to connect you with the tax strategist so that way you can outline your tax strategy. And then from that point, we're going to see how you're saving, right? Because if with inflation and if you have your money in a regular checking or savings account, you're not getting much on that money. And if you have something in your money that's volatile, you may not even know what your risk tolerance is, right? So then we're going to connect you with an insurance broker, someone that's going to be able to we're going to evaluate your saving circumstance and see if the possibility of putting your money in a whole life insurance policy or an index universal life insurance policy is going to give you the protection, the stability, and the growth that you need. So that way, by the time that you get with Victor, you have things in place where you can leverage not only the 401k, but your insurance policies, if you so choose, to get into real estate. Then Victor's going to grab your hand, hold your hand, give you all the tricks of the trade on what you need to do and to get into real estate, right? And that whole formula ultimately leads you into financial freedom. So if you are interested in that, definitely hit me up, check me out. But I also want to say this too. Come April, if you really want to know the plays, if you really want to get some more information, come join the 9-to-5 Escape Challenge, because we're going to walk you through mindset. We're going to give you more details about the 401k. We're going to show you how you can structure your business appropriately and give your business the credit that it deserves. And then we're also going to teach you how, if y'all haven't been paying attention, with artificial intelligence, we're going to teach you how to create 7 streams of income using digital product and artificial intelligence. So if you are stuck in a rut, if you are stuck, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, in your place of employment, and you need a vehicle or an option or an avenue to escape, I highly encourage you to sign up for this class. This class, right? And we're going to lay out the blueprint for you to get you to where you need to go, to be able to turn your passion into purpose and monetize your message. Victor, I'm going to pin this as well. You see it, www.victorvjohnson.com. Holler at Victor as well, especially if you want to get into real estate, if you want to book him to be he's an excellent motivational speaker. If you haven't heard his mantra, the mantra that he recites every morning, it is incredible. So book him for him to be your motivational speaker. He can come to your employer. He can come to your schools. He's been there and done that. So book him as well. And in the process, join the 9-to-5 Escape Challenge. Hey, with that being said, Victor, did you have anything else before we adjourn, before we conclude?
This was straight fire right here. Hopefully people are taking notes. They taking names. They reaching out if they need that guidance or support. But most importantly, just take action. Do something. Do not sit where you are now. Don't feel bad this time next year. Like, man, you know what? I should have got involved. This man has got the goods for you. So, Lonzie, I appreciate this opportunity to be part of the live today, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. The feeling is so mutual, man. I'm truly grateful for just like you say, attracting me into your atmosphere, man. So I mean, hey, look, that law of attraction, that law of vibration, that's a real thing. So with that being said, again, thank you all for coming and joining the live from 401k to financial freedom using the vehicle of real estate. I am Mr. Greene. That's Victor V. Johnson down there. Hey, until we meet again, y'all take care. God bless.